Good morning, everyone. I'm going to call the Crow Wing County Board of Commissioners regular meeting for August 25th, 2020 to order. Please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance and a moment of silence. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Again, thank you everyone for being here today. Our first order of business is open forum. Therese, do we have anybody on the line?
No, Mr. Chairman.
We did have one request in an email for a letter to be read. I will read that letter. This is from the Hams family. As property owners on three sides of the site proposed in Irondale, Tromald, we strongly oppose the shooting range plan. Please consider our farming livelihood and the safety to the surrounding families. This township and city have been overloaded with recreational projects for years, now with state recreation area, snowmobile, ATV, and bike trails, none of which are really harmonious with shooting guns. Thank you, Hams. With that, we'll move on. I would look for a motion for the review and approval of the August 11th, 2020 regular county board meeting minutes.
Mr. Chair, could I ask a question?
Certainly, Commissioner Coring.
On open forum, I actually have been receiving a lot of emails, and here's one from an Atlanta Aldridge, and she's got it to all of us, and it says on here, could you read at the, I thought it said she wanted it read at open forum, and there was another one from Bob Kutchel. I wanted his letter read too. I think he sent it to Tim Hoole. So, and there was another one from Jack Durand, and I believe he wanted that read here too.
If you'd like to read those, you can go ahead.
I don't know.
I did not receive those.
I don't have them right in front of me right now, but.
And I did not receive any of those. Anyone else?
I didn't receive them either.
All right.
So with that, everyone's had an opportunity to look at the minutes. I would look for a motion to approve the 8/11/2020 minutes.
So moved.
I'll second.
Motion by Commissioner Franzine, seconded by Commissioner Brecken. Therese, would you call the roll call, please?
Commissioner Vogt?
Aye.
Commissioner Franzine?
Aye.
Commissioner Brecken?
Aye.
Commissioner Coring?
Aye.
Commissioner Barrows?
Chair votes aye. Motion passes. Review and approve the agenda for today. Look for a motion to approve.
Make the motion to approve.
Motion by Commissioner Hoag,
I'll second.
second by Commissioner Brecken. Therese, would you call the roll call?
Commissioner Franzine?
Aye.
Commissioner Brecken?
Aye.
Commissioner Coring?
Aye.
Commissioner Hoag?
Aye.
Chair?
Chair votes aye. Motion passes. Consent agenda. Commissioner Brecken.
If we could take off 5.3, the speed zone change. I know that Tim Bray is here and would address that.
Okay, we'll pull 5.3. Any other changes to the consent agenda? With that, I would look for a motion to approve the consent agenda.
Also move.
Motion by Commissioner Brecken to approve,
Second.
There's the letter from Jack Durand.
second by Commissioner Hoag. Therese, if you would call the roll call.
Commissioner Brecken?
Aye.
Commissioner Coring?
Aye.
Commissioner Hoag?
Aye.
Commissioner Franzine?
Aye.
Chair?
Chair votes aye. Motion passes. Number 5.3. Mr. Bray.
If I can, just, Mr. Chair, share, I just wanted to thank Tim for his professionalism and his cooperation working with the Eagle School, Eagle View School in that, and coming up with some efforts to minimize the danger that is there. So, Tim?
All right, thank you. Therese, can you bring up that graphic that I sent you yesterday? Mr. Chair, members of the board, today I have before you a resolution to change the speed limit on County Road 11 in the vicinity of Eagle View Elementary School. We currently have a speed zone there that was established by the board in 2015. That speed limit was 40, and at that time, we were trying to improve the peak times of parent pickup and drop-off, an hour in the morning, an hour in the afternoon. And there were just a lot of cars stacking onto 11, County Road 11 there, and causing problems. There's some sight distance issues. Teresa, even in the board packet, I included a couple pictures of how that stacks up, and I think it's important to understand why we're doing this, and there's a couple good graphics there. While she's bringing that up, this is directly related to COVID-19. Eagle View Elementary, or actually the Pequot Lakes School District, has done some good work on surveying their families and kind of like many other school districts trying to figure out how transportation is going to work for their students and staff. And part of that survey revealed that parent pickup at Eagle View Elementary School could double. And this is in an area that's already a challenge and almost stacks out, and sometimes, I guess, out on County 11 and presents this situation right here. And I wish I had both graphics up, but if you go back to the other one, sorry, can you flip? Just flip back and forth. Easy. So I'll get you orientated here real quick. This is that might be good enough, I think. Eagle View Elementary School is here. County Road 11 runs this way. If you,
Sorry.
I'll just hold it still. I'll just hold it still, and you move it around for me. Pequot Lakes is off in this direction, and Breezy Point is over in this direction. The picture that Therese just put up there is at the main entrance right here, and it is the main entrance for parents and staff. There's an entrance over here that's dedicated for buses, and I don't recall how many buses they have, but it's plenty. So if you could flip to the other one. So the situation that happens that presents a challenge we're really trying to fix is this right here. It's at that entrance. Here's a right turn lane here. There's cars here stopped. They're not moving. They're backed up from the parking lot into the right turn lane. And people trying to navigate either going straight across where there's a daycare, the really prominent daycare, or to the the high school in Pequot Lakes. They cannot see through those vehicles, and so they really have a hard time making the left out, and a lot of times take some chances in doing so. And one of the things we did is slow the speed down so there's more time to make a decision, perceive the traffic, and then make a decision as they choose their gap in traffic. And can you flip to the other slide? The picture, sorry.
Oh, the other one.
The other
in
picture, sorry.
packet?
Here is just from another view. All these cars are stacked, waiting to get in to drop off or pick up their kids. I forget which it is. And so they're stopped, backing up into the turn lane. Main line, County Road 11 traffic is still going through, and you have a couple vehicles stack up trying to take a left into it also. Every lane is full, and it's very congested. And this is under a normal year. And now they're projecting, almost, it could be as double the traffic there. So we found this out about a month ago, or actually a little bit less than that, about 3 weeks ago, the survey was finished, and we determined that we really needed to take action. And so if you go back to the main graphic now with and this is what the proposal is to lower the speed limit to 30 miles an hour in the speed zone, and that is allowable by state statute, that the local authorities can set the speed limit in school zones. That's a little different than the rest of the roads. Local authority has the ability to do that, and the resolution that I'm asking you to approve today will establish that and then make that enforceable. for the Breezy Point and Pequot Lakes, and the sheriff, I guess, that are enforcing the speed limit out there. All these signs exist today, except it'll change from 40 to 30 on both of these. That's it. And then another measure that is going to be implemented is we're going to create a situation where we move the stop bar out so they can utilize and expand this, what we call a GORE. It's basically a no man's land. So they can pull out and not have to look through those vehicles. And that we're going to do that with striping. So just white lines on the pavement. Another thing that we're going to do is provide striping in the parking lot for the way that it currently works now. It's really reinforcing what they do, or what they try to do now. And when parents don't follow this is when on that day it backed up, and actually the police department had to go out there and tell people to like form 3 lines. So we're almost formalizing it, so it's more likely to be followed, so to lessen the potential for it backing up on 11. It's still going to. We feel, but this striping is important to kind of keep them going the way they should, because it does break down and they do forget. Additionally, we'll provide a sign, just say, hey, form 3 lines, follow the lines. And so I just wanted to run you through that and why it was important that we deal with it. We looked at some of the other schools. They're set up okay to handle the increased traffic. Really, it's the same amount of traffic, it's just more parents choosing to keep their children off of buses and dropping them off and then picking them up. So the resolution before you today is to lower the speed limit to 30 from 40 miles an hour in front of Eagleview School. The one thing to note is that this is only be activated during the peak hour in the morning and then the peak hour during parent pickup in the afternoon, which incidentally is going to be, they'll be operating on a shortened day, so it'll be, I think, centered around 1:30 or 2 o'clock. And so that's going to be a little change. We're hoping to work with Breezy Point PD, even the school, and then the county to do some press releases to remind folks of the changing traffic pattern. And with that, I'll take any questions.
Thank you. We've all heard the presentation. Are there any questions for Mr. Bray? So I would look for a motion to approve
So
the
moved.
speed zone change on County Road 11.
I would
Commissioner Franzine made the motion.
I'll second.
Commissioner Brecken seconds the motion. Therese, would you call the roll call, please?
Commissioner Coring?
Aye.
Commissioner Hogg?
Aye.
Commissioner Franzine?
Aye.
Commissioner Brecken?
All right.
Chairman?
Chair votes aye. Motion passes.
Thank you.
Thank you, Tim. I did receive a copy now of the letter from Mr. Durand, which would have been normally read in the open forum, so I will read that at this point. There's a couple issues that I want to clarify here. First of all, it references that Commissioner Coring and Commissioner Franzine were removed. That is not true. Commissioner Coring did get removed from the chair position, but Commissioner Franzine was not removed from any position. Actually, it was Commissioner Coring and Commissioner Barrows who were removed from their respective positions, and then Commissioner Barrows elevated to the chair position. One other note in this email, there is a reference to one commissioner's appearance, and I want it noted that that is inappropriate in any letter sent to us. Mr. Brecken, as I do quite often, I sat down this evening to review the video of the county board meeting. After open forum and correspondence, you, out of the blue, made a motion to change the chair and vice chair seats to Mr. Barrows and Mr. Hogue. You cited no reason for doing so. As a resident of District 1, I am happy having Mr. Coring represent us, and am impressed with his knowledge of issues, laws, ability to calmly navigate situations and guide the county board. He embodies the true spirit of community service and representation. I question your decision because there was no mention of this motion on the agenda. There was no mention of a need for leadership change in public forum. There was really no need to replace the board leadership. Mr. Hoag's disheveled appearance at the meeting and lack of input in most meetings makes me question what I believe to your decision and yours alone. As a board member, I believe that if you make such a motion, you are required to discuss and approve the decision in a quorum in which minutes are taken and add it to a meeting agenda to be brought up to a vote. I will be investigating county bylaws to prove or disprove this, as well as call into question your making a motion that was not on the agenda. Having worked with yourself and Mr. Barrows through the Crow Wing County Fair, I enthusiastically supported both of you during the election because I believed you to be men of integrity that would put the needs of and opinions of your friends and neighbors before your own, which would have been a welcome change for the fine folks residing in your respective districts. I find myself sitting here tonight questioning your integrity as I believe you made a decision based on your opinion rather than the opinion of the people you serve. In a position of representation and community service, we must remember that our own egos, wants, and desires are null and void the second we win an election. This is a conversation I recall having with yourself and Mr. Barrows during the election while you were at the county fair campaigning. I will be looking into CWC, acronym for Crow Wing County, bylaws to educate myself on the validity of your motion, as I do not believe it to be 100% valid. Please consider this email as correspondence for your next regular meeting. Signed, Jack Durand, District 1. With that, the next order of business is Sheriff Goddard.
He's not listening well today, so I gotta get him on point. Excuse me. Good morning, Mr. Chair, Commissioners. I'd like to take a couple minutes today and address something that I pointed out to me over the weekend. It was a post by Commissioner Coring that seemed to question, but yet remain mute at the meeting, my budget specifically. And I would just like to make note that the hearing and what was discussed is public record, and anyone looking for information can certainly have access to it. But also, as we agreed, as this process moves forward, more information will be forthcoming during our budget discussions, and more information will be made available. But I also, as Commissioner Coring did indicate, I encourage anyone with questions, whether it's from our board chairs or from our public, to come forward and certainly make contact with me, and I'll answer any question that I certainly can. With that, as an elected official, much like all of you, we have different capacities, and I'm completely aware of that. And Paul, personally, you and I have known each other for years, and I consider you a friend, and will consider you a friend, but I found, I'm going to speak my mind, I found it inappropriate, some of the comments and name-calling specifically that I saw. And I just wanted to point it out to you, Paul. You have my phone number. You've had my phone number forever. I was kind of surprised I didn't get a phone call before, and I made the determination to come and bring this up here rather than make a phone call back. But we'll work through this. I know we always will, but it was something that I found disheartening. And Paul, I think we should go out for lunch and have a discussion in the very near future.
May I?
Mr. Coring?
Thanks, Scott. I appreciate that. And yes, I did support you in the election. I thought you would be the right man for the job. I still believe that. I do not agree with your 23.5% increase. I don't agree with the elevating of these deputies to full-time positions. And I guess, it seems like, and yes, that post was it probably was a very angry post. But I'm upset that it seems like you're not giving it all on this issue. And I want the public to weigh in, because next spring when they get their property tax statements and then they start calling us and saying, hey, what the hell happened here? I'll say, well, where were you when we were going through the budget process? And if you saw the pictures, I put the documents that we received, and hopefully they'll be reaching out to you or the other commissioners, and so that was the point of that. So, and did get a lot of positive comments. Yeah, I probably used some harsh language there that probably shouldn't have, but you know what, I don't always do what's the right thing, but I'm trying my best to serve the people of Commissioner District 1. So, but I'm more than happy to have lunch with you, more than willing to work with you, but just not agreeing with what you're proposing in your budget right now. So,
I understand that and I respect that. Thank you,
yeah.
Paul.
All right, thanks.
Any questions or comments?
Any-
Thank you.
anyone? Thank you, Sheriff. Next business is our county attorney, Mr. Ryan. Thank you. County administrator, I think Debbie, are you setting in for that, for the senior management report?
Yes, Mr. Chair, we did meet as the senior management team yesterday. Just a couple of items to update you on. Of course, we had a COVID update from our emergency management and public health team, who noted that they are working with the school districts as the schools are beginning their back-to-school plans. They're working very closely with public health to meet those guidelines that have been put forward by the state, and that they are reviewing that information with them on a regular basis. We also had some discussion around what future COVID-related plans would include with regard to mass vaccination clinics as those things become available potentially next year from a logistic standpoint, and what potential needs might be from a county perspective, from public health perspective. We did talk about the budget, the 2021 budget, which we are in the process of developing and are coming back with the next budget committee meeting on September 10th with that additional information as was asked for at the last meeting. We talked about the CARES Act that we had briefed you on during the budget committee meeting, that the list of items that are approved or that were reviewed by the budget committee last week will be on your next county board agenda for approval, and that we also have those applications for those grants that we have put forth with the CARES funding that we received. We've so far to date, as of last Thursday, received applications from 59 businesses and from 5 nonprofits. Again, this application period runs through September 18th, so we would encourage anyone who is looking for some relief, that if they were impacted by some of the closures from the COVID-19 restrictions, to check out our website for the links to the application process there. And then we had some HR updates with regard to different things that are going on in the county at this time. One being, with schools going back to school, there are some communication pieces that we'll need to provide for our staff along the lines of COVID-19 FFCRA communications. That's the employees have that opportunity to have some accommodations for work from home or for care for children while they are doing distance learning. So we're kind of tweaking some of the language on that. That should be going out to our employees here soon. We talked about the fact that our benefits committee met last week and heard that we have a 0% increase on our health insurance renewals for 2021, which is was a nice thing for us to see. That does help the bottom line that way. We will be offering flu shots on site for employees and families this year through a collaboration with GuidePoint Pharmacy. That was a service we had previously offered through our public health department and had changed that model several years ago, and we will be bringing that back on site here again. So our open enrollment with that benefit renewal period will begin shortly. It seems crazy to think that we're already talking about 2021 benefit open enrollments, but that will be coming up here in the next 6 weeks or so. And then we talked about our training and development plan for the remainder of this year and going into 2021 with our high potential leaders, with our new employees who have recently joined our team to make sure that they have the opportunity to take advantage of the Insights Profile training that we offer for new staff. So we'll be working through that process as well. Thank you very much.
Any questions from the commissioners? I think with that, I would look for a motion to adjourn.
Mr. Chair, could I ask a question?
Yes, sir.
To the chair.
Corey.
Being that you're the chair now and you are in charge of committee appointments, I've actually been asked by the airport, couple of airport commission members, actually the chair and one of the city council members. One of the members, she's moving out of town, so she has just resigned. And as you know, we've got $18 million from the federal government, so we're in the process of trying to figure out how we're going to do that. So it's kind of entailed. So I've been asked a couple of different times if I'm going to remain on the airport commission. And I guess my question to you is, am I going to remain on there? Am I going to remain on the budget committee? Am I going to remain on personnel? Or am I
Yes.
deserving of more punishment?
First of all, I don't know of any punishment, but I will acknowledge that you will be staying on those committees.
Okay, okay, good to know. Thank
Anything
you.
else?
Nope, that's it.
Motion to adjourn? Anyone? So moved by Commissioner Hoag,
I'll second.
second by Commissioner Brecken. Therese, if you'll call the roll call.
Commissioner Hogg,
Aye.
Commissioner Franzine,
Aye.
Commissioner Brecken,
Aye.
Commissioner Coring,
Aye.
Chairman.
Chair votes aye. We are adjourned. Thank you, everyone.
Therese, should I just leave this the way it is? I don't know how to shut it off.
Thank you.